My goal of this is for you to be able to figure out if starting a business is the right decision for you. Starting off at the very top of importance is what's the end goal you're trying to achieve by the notion of starting a business. For most people I speak to, it's just that they, it's something they've wanted to do without a justification as to like what that really looks like. For me, it's a huge combination of things, but I think it does come down to control and financial freedom at the end of it. Such crazy outsized returns that you near enough can't earn in a job, so that I can provide for friends and family all around me and alleviate any monetary concerns. For most people, it's not that, or at least they're not so shallow as to have money be the goal. It's more, I think, the element of control, of wanting to be in charge, and it often comes from not wanting to work weekends, to choosing when you get to work, not having to ask for time off and getting to choose what it is that you do. The reality of most businesses, that's not going to happen. If you start a business, you will work 2 to 3 times the amount, including weekends, and you'll have to sacrifice so much. And so if that's the goal, I would say probably not the smartest idea. But let's imagine you come down, follow the journey, and you say, yes, business is for me. How would you go about doing it? So it's important to understand what the structure of a business is. I was asked today by a friend, let me just think what I was going to say. That's right. Will I stay in the business I currently have, or is there something else I want to do after? What I've come to notice after having done 3 real businesses and many other failed endeavours is that every business is the same. Once you have something that's officially called a business, it is the same thing as everyone else's business. So what does that look like? Businesses have to have a way to acquire customers, a product or service to fulfill customers, a way to contact customers and have them contact you, finances for getting that, and then some form of HR, accounting, admin, right? Every business can be boiled down into those few components. And so generally looking at what skills you have right now and how applicable are they to doing those 5 things. And the answer is probably none of those skills. Business is a real odd concept where you have to learn so astronomically much to be able to even start. It's kind of crazy. Which is why most people don't succeed in business for a decade, right? And so is that a trade-off you want to make? A decade of working 2 to 3 times as hard as everyone else, being paid about a quarter, and potentially losing everything along the way? For most people, it's a really bad deal. If you do decide to do it, then you've got a lot of learning ahead of you. To decrease your risk, to decrease the downside of it, I think it would be most beneficial to go into business with people who can do one of those key elements and have experience having done it from scratch, which is very different from having done it at a large corporate level. Now, speaking to about people who are marketers, they've marketed for all sorts of companies. There's one thing having a job to market, right? And there's another thing actually having your product or service told to the world and the time and effort put into that to have a return that's greater than the time that went in by like a lot, like 10x. It's so hard. But basically, what you've just gone and said is make an influencer. Oh, just be an influencer. Try that. See how that goes for you and how easy that is. And that's how easy marketing essentially is, right? It's not. This could be a whole video series. I'm just trying to boil this one down a little, to distill it a little bit so you could have like a clean takeaway. There are so many individual moving parts that you have to learn that I think it's a pain. So either you get people who have done them all and they really know what they're talking about and work together to do a thing, or start a business where a few of those arms are already done for you. Drop shipping is a fantastic example of that, where the only thing you have to do is market and sell, right? Everything else essentially is done for you. In terms of, you don't have to fulfill product, you don't have to store product, you don't have to engineer product. You could even outsource the customer service to them, and all that sort of stuff. It's a great place to start. Affiliate marketing or multi-level marketing, again, similar situation, a great place to start. No risk, no startup cost, no startup capital. You can start today and just learn that one skill before moving on to the next one. Now, assuming you don't want to do that, if you don't like the sound of it, well, welcome to business, because you have to do it, no matter what the business is. How else could you do it? I think this is probably the smartest way for most people to start, and that is to have a skill or a service or a product that you already have that you deliver and do to the world, and be able to have the goal be increase your leverage to the absolute max. What does that look like? So if you do those 5 activities as an entrepreneur to be able to create a business, right? But the unique thing that you do, no one else can do, which is the deliverer of the service or the product. So like my company, tutoring, right? The tutoring bit is the unique bit. For my last company, it was the chocolatier bit, like having the skills of a chocolatier. That's the unique bit, the creation of the actual piece, right? Whereas the admin, the customer service emails, could be done by anyone. So let's say you have those 5 jobs, and for that you get paid £100, let's say, per day for your 5 jobs. Now, let's say your admin takes 1 hour a day, and that's £10, right? You could pay someone else £10 to do that. So now, if you pay someone £10, you get an hour of your day back, which you can put into something else, which you could now potentially earn an extra £30 or £40, but you've paid £10 for it. So net, you're up £20 to £30. You've increased your leverage. And then you do that with every aspect. Then you find someone to help you with your marketing. You find someone to help. By someone to help you, potentially, you create the system, you train someone else exactly how you do it, and you just say, okay, you do these SOPs. The difficulty you've then got is when they take holiday, who's doing it? If they're sick, you're still paying them, and who does it? So if you pick up and you fill up the rest of your time with your higher increased leverage activities, you will still be working more, because as and when people are off for every multitude of reasons, you're the one that has to step back in, unless you create a much bigger team with built-in redundancy. So like for our product or service, with our tutors, we have built in 20% or 20% of their total time, or 25% extra of their time that they're spent doing the fulfillment is added on top, is free to cover for when someone else is off, so that we don't have to step in to have the fulfillment. It's already baked in, but then that drastically decreases the efficiency of your leverage, right? Business is a hard thing. It's a really hard thing, otherwise obviously everyone would do it, because for the amazing outside returns of being an entrepreneur, yay. So the full circle on this, if your goal is to increase your finances, to increase your financial freedom, your opportunity, retire early, all that sort of stuff, or like to move country or to have control, there's probably better ways to do it. So have a think about it. Like, what's the actual dream? Like, you want to move country? Apply for a job in a different country and just go. Ta-da! You did it. If you don't want to work Fridays, negotiate that with your boss, right? If you want to earn more, increase your value that you currently offer to whoever you work with. And if you don't currently have more value to offer, learn new skills and you will be paid if you can deliver more value. These are all options that will likely achieve the same goal you're wanting to with a lot less risk and a lot less downside. Because business certainly isn't for everyone, and there's so many unknown unknowns that until you get 5 to 10 years in, you don't even notice they were happening until you are at the expense of them. Like the emotional toll of it. Davey Fogarty, the guy who got Udi really, really big during COVID. I think he went from doing 1 million a year or something to 200 million in a year. He shares his story really well about the challenges that he has faced of anxiety, depression, the mental challenge of borderline PTSD, right? And it's very real. It's not a thing that I would step into lightly, but at the end of the day, this is the magical thing about ignorance is the unknowns are unknown, and so you can step into something. You step into that amazing rainbows and green fields thing that you want to see to give it a shot, just to see what happens. And I think on the whole it makes people awesome people. But for some people they get burnt and never want to go back. So yeah, I would say if you're going to go into business, have a think as to what is the actual reason and if that is the smartest thing to do, because it's probably not. Now, when I get there, when I get to the point of what I'm aiming for, which is to sell this company, I'll tell you from the top if I think it was worth it for my specific journey. I have a feeling it won't be. That's my current inclination for maybe for me, but for most people, I'm almost certain it's not the right call. There we go. My thoughts for today. Have a great day, guys. All the best. If you're going to start a business, let me know what, and I will happily offer any advice and help you not make any of the mistakes that I have made. Alright, have a great one. Peace.